O Namo Bhagavate Vajrayogini.
I'm going to talk a little bit about the Vajrayogini. Of course, everything will unfold, and also it's all about the experience, right? But I would like to do in this journey is little more mechanism or the little theoretical, so that we can have a basis. Then you apply, not to try to slap that theory and concept onto your experience. Once you start really getting used to the sadhana, Vajrayana practice, so then you have a nice union of theory and practice. What's the essence of the Vajrayogini empowerment? Of course, the highest yoga tantra empowerment is meant for planting the seed or the activating the seed, which ripen as a full Buddha body. Buddha body is not a good translation because kaya is more like aspect of the Buddhas. Buddha mind and Buddha body, plus Vajrayogini empowerment entail the three main aspects of initiation, invitation, or connection, meeting three levels of Vajrayogini through empowerment. So that's very important. So that's why if we prepare, we know what exactly is going to happen. Then at that time, you may really need Vajrayogini in that level. So I just going to say a few words about that. What do you think? So, of course, outer Vajrayogini, inner Vajrayogini, secret Vajrayogini, three levels. But the interesting is that they come all together. If you meet secret Vajrayogini, you meet inner and outer or external Vajrayogini simultaneous. If you meet outer yogini at the marketplace, you meet inner and you can say the secret Vajrayogini as well. In terms of empowerment, traditionally that's the place where your realization happens. You view the Vajra master, the inseparable from Eden deities, then world or environment where you are receiving the empowerment is the mandala of Eden deity. Then in terms of Vajrayogini, we call the Shindura mandala. So let's do three levels. So the first one is outer yogini. So start with outer yogini, initiated to outer yogini. You are put on a blindfold, red ribbon on the forehead. So when you meet with something very, very holy and special, you are like right now, like a blind person. You cannot view this world as a Vajrayogini's paradise. You cannot view you as a Vajrayogini or teacher as a Vajrayogini. Then go through the ritual, then enter into the first outer level of the mandala. Vajrayogini taking your hand because you're blindfold, right? Then going into the external outer mandala. That's the place where you meet external Vajrayogini. Once you met, take the blindfold. The second level is inner Vajrayogini. How to meet with inner Vajrayogini? So teacher gives the tumo fire. We use the tinro, like a little flame. Then that's the symbol of the inner Vajrayogini, tumo fire. That's actually inner Vajrayogini. Then each person receive, put in your mouth, then swallow it, then meditate. So that's the introduction to the inner Vajrayoginis using this tingle fire flame. That's the first spark of tumo fire, imagine. Then you nurture it, ignite it through your experience. So inner Vajrayogini is a Vajra body. We call it Satara body, Vajrayogini, tumo flame. Tiny flame you receive. Then that's come to the heart center. You can say recognize the emptiness. Clear light, when we say the clear light, that's the translation of self. As if something like a clear light, candle, clear light, nothing like that. Another term for emptiness. If you read the clear light, it's not the light, it's the emptiness in a sutra context. Emptiness is emptiness. It's same in a sutra context and tantra context. in terms of Vajrayogini or I guess Yoga Tantra context, we use the great breath to recognize that emptiness, recognize clear light. Then deepest dimension is this clear light of inseparability of breath and emptiness. Then meditate on that one. That's how you meet. Then secret Vajrayogini also have a different levels, which I'm not gonna go into. In our level, maybe just say wisdom come to mind, understanding dawn or emptiness through Mahamudra meditation or analytical Madhyamika approach, then directly perceiving the emptiness, kind of glimpse into emptiness, that the lower level of secret Vajrayogini, but lower but the high accomplishment, direct contact of secret Vajrayogini in the lower form. How can we bring all these seemingly theoretical or different levels into our day-to-day life? One suggestion, tactile sensation. We're going to use tactile sensation. For example, spiritual partner, if you have, doesn't need to be. But in our level, like a beautiful thing is better than ugly thing. Eventually, we view everything equally and a pure view. But start with something enjoyable or pleasurable, whatever experience. Your child, look into the eye of your beloved, then connect to the heart center, tactile sensation, some kind of blissful feeling arises. No? Then start connecting to that. Then apply to this emptiness meditation, whatever out there. Blissful feeling here, but am I imputing this partner goodness or complete eternity or solidity? We have to separate out, we call the aggregate of feeling, good feeling, bad feeling, neutral feeling from the object. Then just leave it as it is, just merely imputed partner. Then you connect that. Then rest in that emptiness of the object. So that's how you get into this secret Vajrayogini. Then this tactile sensation, blissful feeling helps you to perceive the emptiness or true nature of what is. Then start to view the clear light, emptiness in everywhere. Divine world, divine being, supported by your meditation. And continue to practice all these other methods as well as those daily practice glimpse. Or everything will help you. Mahamudra and Vipassana, analytical approach, everything. In that sense, we don't need to wait and continue to connect to the subtle body. Vajra.
Kameshvare Kange